Oh, yeah. Eagles way up boxing. Y'all know what time it is. The late. That's right. We back up in here. Eagles way up boxing. What did you think we was doing? Back up in here with the Eagles. Yeah. A lot of things going on. I don't know how much of it is true, but just be safe out there. If you guys are in this, it's supposed to be flooding all over the United States. And in Southern California, it's supposed to be like floods all the way up through the northeast, like all kinds of floods and stuff. You guys be careful. Um, I don't know if I was looking at older footage or not, but I was looking at some of the San Diego footage. A lot of people saying that's old footage. You know, I can't trust the news outlets. But here's my thing about that is when it floods, I know I've been in. I've been in floods. I mean, I drove through them. I have a big enough vehicle where I can drive through most of them. Where a lot of people's floating around, I can still make it. You know, I can still drive through. So I've been in floods, but in our case, the last flood that I was actually in, like the one I drove through, of course, we had floods last year too. But the one that I was actually involved in and drove through, um, it was because of a creek. You know, creeks can only hold so much water because they're not rivers. They're like miniature rivers or whatever, however you might want to say it. But yeah, so that was due to a creek. But I was looking at some of the footage back to San Diego. I was looking at some of the footage, and I noticed that the water seemed to be coming up out of this, for lack of knowing what they really are, out of the manhole. I don't know what's in the manhole or whatever. I don't know. Sometimes I see them putting wires in there sometimes, and sometimes I see them doing plumbing. So I don't know if those are uh, connected with the storm drains, or well, they must be somehow. But I don't think that's actually, those aren't the actual drains. Hmm. Maybe I just actually hmm came up with something. Maybe you guys ain't getting it. But those aren't the storm drains, but water can come up out of them. And if you look at those things, they're actually they're actually wider. The hole seems to be, what is it, like 3 feet across, something like that, or maybe more. And they put this big steel cover on there. The storm drains, they don't seem as wide. I just kind of figured something out right now. So it's like, and the water's coming. Seems like it's coming out of the manhole. I don't know. I don't even know what those things are called. I'm just calling it a manhole. I don't know what the hell they're called. I know they call the manhole cover, but I'm not sure what the hell they call those things. No time in my life. I'll be today's years old if somebody could tell me what those are actually called. What are they called? What exactly are those things called? I never had the need to know what they were called. That's crazy. I never had the need to know what they're called. Hmm. That's wild. I don't know what they are. But somebody will. Somebody will know what they are. I don't know what they are. But yeah, we're going to get into these. We're going to kind of break down a little bit. A few fighters. We're going to break them down like one by one. And I know it's not in the title. But yeah, I want to talk about these. The heavies. Yeah, I did. I just put heavies, but yeah, but I want to talk about the heavies because it was just something that I heard earlier, and it just made me think. Somebody was saying certain stuff, and it just kind of made me think. It's like, and we kind of forgot. We're actually forgetting. We forgot that there's something really strange going on with the heavyweights, man. Really strange if you think about it. It's really, in boxing, I don't know, man. Everybody is, I don't know, is Parker Muslim? What? I don't know. I just noticed that a lot of fighters, and they're embracing, I'm not saying don't embrace, but understand what you're doing, embracing like the Islam faith, religion, what have you. I'm not religious, so just forgive me. I grew up in the Catholic church, man. I grew up going to 2 different schools, man. I grew up in a Catholic school, in mainstream regular school. I had fun in the Catholic school. I was never disciplined in the Catholic school. There's all kinds of horror stories about the Catholic school, but I was always taken care of all the time. I was always nurtured and stuff, so I never took no kind of beatings or nothing. I know people that say they took beatings, but I never did. I was never afraid of the nuns, none of that. I was afraid of the actual church. That's what I was afraid of. The church was, I mean, it was, for me, it was traumatizing, man. It was spooky. It was really spooky. But yeah. So I just have an observation, but I need to go back and forth with this observation. It would be better if I go back and forth. Put it that way. I don't have to, but it'll make it dialogue. It will make it better if I can go um, back and forth. Look at Smuck. Smuck is back up in here. Smuck, you. What's up? Smuck is back. Yep. A lot of people was asking about you, Smuck. They thought you disappeared. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, though, brother. Yeah, but you in here. You usually have a lot to say though. So I mean, yeah, I had to run late today. I still had to get out of here. You know, I had to take. This is the second time that I was trying to do a stream, and I was getting my phone worked on. So, yep. They said they're gonna get it done today. They still try to pretend after I talked to a manager, they were still trying to tell me that they didn't have the part in. I said, it's not fair, man. I said, it's over a week. I've already paid you guys. Yeah, of course they remember you, man. It's not cute. Yeah. uh, people, they remember everybody. I remember you. People, they're gonna remember you, man. We don't. If you see the guys in here with the blue, they're not gonna forget nothing. They don't forget. All of them, they got good minds, man. They do not. They don't forget nothing. They don't forget me. If I do some shit, they not gonna forget. If anybody do something, you know. So this is the dialogue that I wanted to have. Is that I don't know how strong you keep up with the boxing situation, but I'm thinking now that damn Deontay Wilder has damaged a lot of these heavyweight fighters, and nobody's talking about it. He's damaged a lot of these fighters really bad, and I'm quite sure that, or you're a boxing fanatic, and I'm quite sure that Tyson Fury is damaged, and a lot of people just don't. They're not getting to him because he's able to use his size and his little bit of boxing skills to rough people up. Oh no, I'm not gonna talk about all eras, not today. I'm not gonna talk about like all eras of boxing right now. No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. Not all eras, brother. Not today. I mean, we will. I mean, we will. We can have that. That's a good discussion to come up. That's a good discussion to come up with, because we always want to explore back and forth to see, how good fighters are today versus yesterday. And some of these fighters today, they couldn't handle the fighters from yesterday. Especially people think these welterweights are so great. Now these welterweights couldn't handle. I'll tell you who would. I give you just three fighters. I only need but three fighters that will wipe up the whole welterweight division: Parnell Whitaker, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns. That's all I need. I don't even have to go to Duran and Benitez. I don't even have to go there. But yeah, so Wilder has damaged a lot of these fighters, man. And it's kind of like slipped underneath the radar. Nobody's really thinking about it. Brazil was damaged by Wilder. He's never the same after that Wilder knockout. He was never the same after taking that knockout from Wilder. Ortiz was damaged by Wilder. And we know he was a beast, man. At one point, he was the most avoided fighter there was in the heavyweight. He was completely destroyed by Wilder. Helenius was completely destroyed by Wilder. Stavern was completely destroyed by Wilder. What's his name? Duhopoulos or whatever his name is. What's that guy? The guy from Poland. He was totally destroyed by Wilder. These fighters haven't done anything since facing Wilder. None of them. What's his name? Ruiz. Completely destroyed by Wilder. None of these fighters have done anything since once they tasted Wilder's power, they haven't been the same. But we're overlooking the fact, and we're thinking that Tyson Fury is completely a different animal. He's not. He's just bigger. And I think Ngannou might have showed us that. Tyson Fury has a very soft spot behind his ear. He has a very soft spot. That's where if you crack him behind the ear, he's going down. And maybe some of that brittleness have seeped into his chin. Now AJ never fought. He never faced Wilder. But AJ suffers from a little bit. He suffers from a little bit of that too. And a lot of people think he's just gonna blow through Ngannou. I don't know. And I've heard stories where they're saying that they don't know if Ngannou's boxing punch is as good as his MMA punch. Doesn't matter. He's gonna punch you regardless. And it doesn't take two fights to develop a boxing punch. I'm quite sure they worked with him on, his boxing punch. I'm quite sure his boxing punch will be fine. But I know AJ cannot take punches like we think he can. The whole heavyweight division is all suspect right here. They're all suspect in the chin, for sure. All of them are suspect in the chin. There's not one that's not a little bit suspect in the chin right now. Daniel Dubois, he's suspect in the chin. Joel Joyce, that was already proven. Suspect in the chin. It's like, dude, you take all that punishment. Okay, Usyk, Usyk too. Usyk is suspect, not necessarily in the chin, but in the body. All of them have their susceptibilities that we can see. You understand? So, my thing right now is I'm looking at that Wilder did a lot of damage to a lot of these heavyweights. I don't think there's any other heavyweight right now that's active that has done as much damage as Wilder has done to these fighters. Granted, his last fight, he didn't do shit because he's damaged too. All of them. But that being said, with all these fighters being damaged, he still has a hell of a chance to become champ again. With all these fighters having some kind of some type of suspect in their armor. I can't think of one that doesn't have any. I can't think of one. There's none. Huh? Maybe Baby, right? I don't think he just doesn't have the skill set. He may not. Big Jared. So he may not, but he'll get better. He's the youngest, one of the youngest, freshest one coming up right now. But these heavyweights are really damaged. Smug cute. Watch Crawford, Spence. Crawford punched down when Spence ducked. I see your point. Yeah. Yeah. Crawford is good at Crawford hits behind the head a lot. I don't respect when fighters hit behind the head. I don't respect that. He's great. He's a good fighter. I would never see him as just like being like great though. He's just not in the right era. He can't be. He's in the wrong era to become great. Especially moving up to welterweight when welterweights have already been dispatched because Earl Spence did a lot of damage to a lot of the welterweights before Crawford got here. They're all damaged good. Carol Brook was already damaged goods time he got to, and a lot of people gonna get mad and say that Sean Porter wasn't damaged goods when he fought Crawford, but he was. He's a little bit damaged. He was damaged enough to the point that he needed to take a break after the Earl Spence fight. He needed to take a longer break. Same thing with Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, he's not gonna really be the same. We're not hearing from none of these fighters. These fighters are not fighting. So why aren't you fighters fighting? We need to get your ass need to get in there and fight. We're not seeing nobody, so nobody's actually fighting. You understand? I see you, Bruce. Bruce always come through. I appreciate you coming through, Bruce. What you cooking now, man? Shit, that damn Bruce be pissing me off. Always cooking something delicious, and I'm sitting over here starving. But don't worry about it, brother. I'm gonna get it in. I'm making kind of like a tamale pie, but not so much. It is like the taste is. I mean, it's so good. I just got my little what they call them, Palis. Um, I forget what they call them. Anyway, they make the chili rellenos with them. But that's why we got some of those chilies. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good, brother. I'm gonna put them onions on there. Oh man, are you kidding me? But I gotta roast them, so it's gonna be like a little. It's gonna be a little bit of time. I'm gonna put some time in on this food. Yeah. But anyway, salute to Bruce. Yeah. Smuck, you said agreed. Yeah. Webb, you right. One fight a year. Yeah. All this, all these fighters, man, is just see. We're thinking that we're getting all these good fights, but we're waiting for fights for like ever, man. We got fighters that are so damaged, and they're putting on the show for us. So I guess we got to be appreciative to those. The ones that are not damaged need to be fighting. Haney need to be fighting more, but Haney is trying to fight. Davis needs to be fighting more. Shakur needs to be fighting more. Well, Shakur, I don't really care if he could fight, but eh, he can never be great with his style. In this era, he can't. Oh, air fried chicken nuggets, frozen fries. What's this? Today is Wednesday, so that's the Wednesday late night. Wednesday quick meal with Bruce Gas. Bruce Gas gonna get that quick meal in today. Yeah, I'm trying to do something. It's gonna take me a little bit of time. It's gonna take me a good hour and a half to prepare my meal tonight. But it's all good. I mean I ate late, which I shouldn't. Well, I didn't really eat late. I kind of snacked. You know, I wasn't supposed to. That was my second day. I was supposed to do 2 days of not eating. Because I do 2 days of not eating and then I eat. And then I do a day of eating and then not eating. And then I just repeat the process since there's 7 days in a week. And it's easier for me to figure it out that way. Which I probably shouldn't. I probably should just put it on the counter. Like go one day, eat one day and then don't eat two. Eat one day and then don't eat two. I should just do it that way. That's what I'm trying to get down to anyway. To eat one day and then don't eat two, or eat one day and then don't eat three. That would be a good goal. Like I think the best goal would be eating like one. I would say like, okay, so if it's regular 28, divide that into 14. Okay, so 4. So 4 times a month. 4 times a month for me eating would be good. Okay, so back to our points here. So boxing, especially the welterweight is damaged goods. Heavyweights are damaged goods. We got a lot of these divisions that we're not looking at. We're looking at the fight. Oh, this be a good fight. That'll be a good fight. No, they're damaged goods. 154, damaged goods. Damaged goods. I'm sorry, 154 is damaged goods. Probably even light heavyweight is kind of shake. They're really shaky at light heavyweight. 168, damaged goods. Heavyweight, damaged goods. 140 was already damaged goods, but now 140 is rebuilding now. So 140 is rebuilding. It's not all damaged goods because we got more coming in. Welterweight we only got like 2 or 3 that came in. Heavyweight we don't really have but a couple, and I'm not familiar with these guys. I'm not really familiar with these guys that came in, but the rest of them, man, Wilder has damaged a lot of the heavyweights, man. We're not even thinking about that. Everybody's enjoying Wilder's knockouts, but Wilder wasn't just knocking people out. Wilder was putting people out of the boxing business. Even though they stayed in the boxing business, they were really out of the boxing business. Yeah, he put Ortiz out, put Brazil out. He put so many fighters out of the boxing business. What's his name? Bruce Duplexis or whatever. He put him completely out. Made him do a complete helicopter spin. They had to come. They had to come scrape him up out the ring. And he himself is almost out of the. He's out of the picture. But he can make it because his determination and his power. But he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to be more defensively sound. It's gonna have to be more defensively sound. Yep. Okay, Bruce, I eat the same thing about almost the same time every day. Yeah. Shakur trying to be Parnell, but Sweet Pea banged and boxed. He's still my favorite fighter. He's one of my favorites too, man. I love. I mean, yeah. Besides my father, he's Parnell something else, man. He was something else. You got to understand. You got to go back to school. When you watch Parnell, you got to go back to school and understand just that skill set, what he's doing. It's like, wow. Just to watch what he's doing, this is how he made so many people. And he beat Oscar De La Hoya, in my opinion. In my estimation, he beat Oscar De La Hoya. In Chavez, he beat the shit out of Chavez. Chavez couldn't even land a punch on him. Oscar couldn't land a punch on him. And then he was even playing like this, acting like he was doing like this, like that one round when everybody was going crazy, like Oscar had did something, he did like this, like, yeah, I'm all dizzy, and walked back to the corner. He's like, yeah, you didn't do shit to him. Wilder should fight Jake Paul for the bag and retire into the sunset. I can see Wilder retiring because, but the thing is, Bruce, I'm just not. See, I'm not. A lot of people hate Wilder. I'm not a Wilder hater. If I was a Wilder hater, I could go with that sentiment a lot better. But I'm not a Wilder hater. I'm not saying you're a Wilder hater, but the thing about Wilder is he still has a chance because of that punching power. And for me is I never doubt a fighter to develop no matter what. You could develop. I'm not going to say that he can't because I've seen fighters, and I know nobody's in the same conversation with Muhammad Ali, but Muhammad Ali always made all kinds of adjustments. Sugar Ray Leonard made adjustments. I know he's not that kind of fighter, but I'm quite sure people say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. If you smack the shit out of an old dog, he'll learn a new trick. So don't tell me you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can. Especially human. I think that people are always evolving to learn. I'm always learning. I learn from y'all. Hopefully y'all learn a little bit from me, but I'm always learning from somebody. I don't never say, I can't learn no more. I'm stupid now. I got brain fog. Well, shit, let me take some lion's mane mushrooms to clear my brain up and shit. Let me do something to clear my mind out. So I can't learn. A lot of people are just so set in their ways. They do no electronic stuff. They don't know how to do smartphones and nothing. Oh, I'm not computer savvy. I don't do the internet. Oh, I don't do that. Eventually, you're gonna have to at one point. You might say you don't do all that shit, but you're gonna have to at one point. You're gonna have to do it. Yeah. So you could say, well, I don't do this and I don't do that, but you're gonna have to. You don't have no choice. Yep. You don't have no choice but to do it. So you might as well get it done. Yep. Heavyweight problem. They too big. Every other weight division they fighting fighters. They weigh heavyweight sometimes 60-pound weight. The difference. Well, we can't. That's what we can't do though. And that's. But I like that you brought that point up, Smuck. Because that's my heavy point. Is that some of the old fighters might have 2 fights in a week, might have 7 fights in a month. And so they had to make weight on every last one of those fights. Those fighters were actually fighting at their weight class. That's the difference between today's fighters and yesterday's fighters. Is today's fighters don't fight at their weight class. They weigh in and then they come in 20, 30, 40 pounds heavier. They don't fight at their weight class. Sugar Ray Robinson, who is the only pound for pound and will always only be the only one pound for pound, fought at his class and fought smaller than other fighters. If he fought middleweight, he was fight probably he wasn't fighting at 160 at middleweight. You know what I mean? He was fighting at his walk around weight, his dancing weight. That was their weight. They fought at the weight that they were. They maybe trained 5 or 6. You know, they trained like 5 pounds off of their body or something like that. But they was at their walk around weight. Those older fighters. So that's one way. That's one reason we can't compare. And another one is these guys. Another thing, these guys don't have the same balls. They didn't cut off one of their balls or something. All these fighters didn't cut one of their balls off. I'm going to cut one of my balls off. Yeah, I know you're going to cut one of your balls off. Because you guys trying to compare yourself with the old greats and you can't. You can't. I don't care. You just can't. You cannot. Now, I would say that Mayweather could, because he's the throwback fighter. That's why he was good at the 147. I'm not putting him in the same category with the older fighters, but I could put him in that type of a league to where, you know, he's fighting at his walk around where Mayweather wasn't killing himself to make weight. He wasn't killing himself to make weight. These guys killing themselves to make weight, coming in all like this and like barely can move. Oh shit. Then they rehydrate. No, they don't have the right fluids going through their body within the 24 hours like they need to. The electrolytes and shit is all off. They probably cramping up in there. Muscles is tightening up and there's all kinds of physiological problems with these guys once they get in the ring. Because they're not fighting at their weight class. They're fighting at a weight class way below. And why are they doing this? A lot of them, they can't take that kind of power from somebody at a higher weight. And a lot of these guys, they damage themselves from moving up these weights, like moving up and down or just. I mean, all these fighters, I know they dare what they call dare to be great by moving up. But I want to see somebody that's dared to be great and come back. And we never see these guys coming back after a loss. We never see them come back and get a win, like Canelo. Canelo took his ass whooping and never came back to fight. Like he never went back to fight Bivol again after taking his ass whooping. But he's still great. He's not great. Because he beat Kovalev, so he didn't have to re-up. But we need to see you re-up. If you want to categorize yourself with some of the old school fighters always like, we're going to fight again. Even Mike Tyson said, man, don't mess around. He said to Razor Ruddock, don't mess around and lose or something. He said, we probably going to have to do this again. It's like, damn, that's warrior style. When you tell somebody you respect the fighter enough to say it was a good fight, then we're gonna have to do this shit again. When you can tell a fighter that, instead of just talking a whole lot of shit, getting your mom in the ring and dancing and all that, nobody cares nothing about all that shit. I'm gonna dance with my mom in the ring. Man, come on, stop playing. That's your profession. What you dancing with your mom for in the ring? And I'm not mentioning anybody, believe it. So somebody might hate. Because I could have said dancing with your dad or whatever else. No. Because even I never seen, like fighters of the past, I've never seen those type of celebrations. Yeah, you celebrate to the crowd. All the old champions always celebrated to the crowd. They always pointed at the, like say for instance not the commentators, some of maybe the commentators, but let's say like the boxing analysts, the ones that's supposed to be the boxing experts and stuff, like Ali. When they said he's gonna get beat, he would point at all of them like, yeah, I told you. He would point them out like, yeah, you thought I was gonna lose, you too. He would find them. That's that intel. See, when you got that kind of intellect in the ring, you're hard to beat. When you can still think about other stuff, you're focusing on boxing, but you still remember, hey, I'm gonna point at after I whooped his ass, I'm gonna point at these guys that said I was gonna lose. See, we don't have guys that think like that. But the reason I said I could put Mayweather next to that category because he still had this kind of a thought. Gervonta Davis tries to do it, but he does it sometimes he gets cracked. He did it against what's that little fighter, the one with the short arms. What's his name? Gamboa. He did that against Gamboa and took a couple of shots. He took some shots. Make sure y'all hit my thumbs up, man. Come on now. Yeah. But yeah. It's it's in all business. Bruce said. He said nothing personal. Yep. And he landed more punches than De La Hoya. Yep. Yeah. Sweet Pea. Yeah. Sweet Pea landed more punches and didn't get hit. If Wilder fights any of the top heavyweights today, I think he gets seriously hurt. That's why I'd like to see him fight Paul and retire. No, he's not going to get hurt by him because what you got to think about is these top heavyweights have been hurt by Wilder. They're all damaged, Bruce. All these guys. Name a fight. That's where you're at there, Bruce. But name me a heavyweight fighter right now in these top guys. Name me a heavyweight fighter that doesn't have some kind of suspectability in their game. Just name me one fighter that doesn't have some kind of, there's something that's not suspect about him, like Usyk. Usyk maybe got a little bit of a chin, but his body, he can't take body shots. AJ can't take no shots. I don't care what nobody say. He's fighting people that he know ain't gonna hit him, ain't gonna bust him up. He ain't gonna fight nobody. Like, he's fighting Ngannou because Ngannou, only reason he's fighting him because he's like inexperienced in boxing. He ain't gonna fight nobody who's experienced in boxing. Yeah, he probably wouldn't even fight Ruiz again. He wouldn't even fight him again. He don't need to, but he probably won't. But your point is well taken, at Bruce Gas. I understand your point when it comes to Wilder. And Smuck U says Haney is an example. So Haney is an example of somebody who came in. But you know what? I'm gonna say this about that, Smuck U. I never seen Haney come in as big as he came in. But if you look at Haney was still nice and lean when he came in. Some fighters, when they come in, they just look like they're this heavy. He came in big, but he looked good. He looked like he should probably be fighting middleweight. He probably can't go straight up to middleweight right now, though. I don't see some guys. I don't see people beating him like they think they're going to beat him. Because the thing about Haney, you're going to have to hit him and you're going to have to keep him hurt. You can't just hurt him. Because he got the strength to recover. And then he's going to be smart. If you hurt him, he's going to be smart. Haney's the type you got to keep hurt. You got to hurt him like multiple rounds, not like one round. Oh, he got hurt this round. No, you can't hurt him one round. That's not. Nobody. You can't win by hurting somebody a round. Remember Shane Mosley hurt Mayweather one round? There's been people that they said hurt Mayweather, but you can't. But he's tough. You can't just hurt certain fighters like, oh, he was hurt this round. Well, you hurt him one round. That's it. He probably hurt you a bunch of rounds. And Shane Mosley got hurt real bad fighting Mayweather. People might not realize he had him wanting to shake hands after every round. Mayweather had him wanting to touch gloves after every round because he was just mopping him. I mean, he was cracking him. He said he was talking about how his neck hurt after the fight. He said, I don't know why my neck. Yeah, he was getting blasted. That's why your neck hurt after that fight. Because Mayweather don't hit soft like people think. Like, oh, nobody just blew through him. Let me just go blowing through him. No. Same thing with Haney. People think Haney don't crack. Some people just don't have those type of knockouts. You'll get your ass knocked out, and the reason they don't have knockouts is because they're not getting that. They have a style that doesn't allow them to always, put that pressure to get the knockout. But if they get you hurt, they will knock your ass out, and you're not gonna come in there all careless like, oh, he can't hit. He ain't got no power. Haney ain't got no power. Let me just come in there careless and like. If you go back and look at how he put Regis down, I mean, it wasn't. If you look at the punch, you might not have thought it had enough on it, but it had enough on it to put Regis' ass down quick. Yeah, that's over. A lot of these fighters, you just don't go running up in. See, Wilder, his whole thing is if he's not going to practice defense, he's going to have to get his psychological game up a lot higher. Like he's going to have to get his Mike Tyson game up. His Mike Tyson pre-fight game. He's going to have to get that up to where you scare the shit out of somebody before they even get in the ring, where they're already shivering. He's going to have to say, yeah, I figured out what I was doing last fight. I made some mistakes. I wasn't letting my hands go, stuff like that. But this fight here, I'm going for broke. Even if he doesn't go for broke, he could just say, I'm going for broke. I'm coming out, first round. I'm trying to decapitate this fighter the first round. I'm going for this. You got to keep saying I'm going for the first round knockout. Because if you say that, and you convince the fighter that you're going for the first round knockout, then maybe he's going to come out. He's going to be running when he first comes out, and that's going to be to your advantage. Because you don't have to go for the knockout that way. You can just land so many punches that he's going to be running like, oh, he didn't knock me out the first, second, and third, and by the time you get to the 6th, 7th round, you're already way ahead. So now his corner's telling him you got to do something. Time they get to the 7th, 8th round, now they're telling him that he got to do something. And now he is coming forward. Now you get that knockout in the 8th and 9th round. Yeah. Yeah, he said, I'm glad your boxing history is good. Mine is too, huh? Hey, he looks like steroids. Yeah. Like Holyfield and Pac-Man. Yeah. I don't know who you talking about. You talking about Haney? You think Haney looks like steroids? He's nice and lean, man. He's too lean for, he's kind of scary. And a lot of people, you ain't scared of Haney, but Haney's kind of scary if you look at him, to look like when he fills out, when he eats, his body looks the same as it did before he ate. He still looks like lean, cut, 6-pack, all that. That's what's so scary about him. It's like I like to see some extra weight on Haney. I don't like to see fighters just too lean. I like to see fighters that have a little bit of extra weight on them. It was only so many fighters in history that came in like completely lean all the time. Like Marvin Hagler, he came in like super lean, but he was always fighting at 160. He fought his weight. That's his weight. People don't know that was Marvin Hagler's leaned out weight. When I'm leaned out, I'm 160. That was his weight. When I leaned out, I'm 160. That's when I am. Not dehydrated. That's when I'm good. You know what I mean? And Haney's same way. Haney's probably leaned out at like one. I would put Haney at 154 probably. I would put Haney at 154 would probably be his best weight. And that's skipping 147. I know he has to have some 147 fights, but that's going to be his best weight. It's going to be like 154. There's nothing there for him right now, though. He could beat people at 154. There's nothing there. There's nothing at 154. Name something at 154. They're not going to outbox him. 154, nobody's going to outbox him. You guys we can think about it, but nobody's really going to. Yeah, Haney boxing ability is great. Yep. Many Wilder knockouts are overhand wild punches that land behind the head. Nah. I think you need to go back. You maybe go back, Smuck, you and look at some of those uppercuts and some of those hooks. He's put people out with the left or right. And you got to realize when he knocked out Tyson Fury, it was a right hand and a left hook. It was a right hand and a left hook that knocked out. That's why I figured out Tyson Fury's weak spot. Tyson Fury's weak spot is on his right side. It's behind his left ear. Yep. Some people have different spots that you can hit them. Like you hit some people up here and put them out here, like by the ear, behind the ear, usually on the side of the head, usually never on the forehead. If you knock somebody out, Wilder has knocked people out in the forehead. If you knock somebody out by hitting them in the forehead, you hit extremely hard. Because a fighter should never aim for the forehead. because that is the area where you are probably you will damage your own wrist and your hands and your fists if you hit somebody in the forehead. Especially, you can end up breaking your hand because there's a secret, and I showed it in here one time. What happens is a fighter. What happens is a fighter. Those type of fighters like the Braxtons, uh, Muhammad Dwight Kwawi, those type of fighters, is they love for you to aim for their forehead, and that's all that they have available a lot of times is that forehead because they're so slippery, and when they dip, if you're throwing a punch and they dip, what happens is it snaps your wrist up. So you're throwing the punch like that, and once they duck, it it takes your fist down with it, and so your momentum drives through like this. So then your wrist is going through your hand. Your hand is stuck on top of the head, and your wrist and arm is still going through like that. So you're like this when you throw that punch. Yep. But let me get back. But good points though. Haney did not make the Vegas limits for rehydration. The fight was actually illegal. Look it up. I don't. He was. It wasn't no IBF involved though. Oh, Vegas. Yeah, yeah. But Vegas. Yeah. Which fight was that though? Because his last fight was not. His last fight was in California. Oh, okay, I'm talking most of the fights. Wild, yeah, Wilder just. But see, the thing is, Wilder, um, by his own admission, a lot of times Wilder threw a lot of overhands, which he shouldn't have because he kind of messed up some of his own career by doing that. Um, is he would throw overhands that was unnecessary. That he don't need to throw those overhands. He used to throw overhands you don't need to throw these overhands, but he used to throw them anyway. So that kind of killed a little bit of his momentum is when he started doing that. Like he would have somebody hurt and then he'd just go. Then they start calling him windmill and Wilder. He used to do that, but it's like Wilder, instead of just settling down, like Wilder could have had so many smooth knockouts. But I'm kind of happy that Wilder did do the windmill type of thing. Because if Wilder would have placed his punches on those fighters that he had hurt, we wouldn't have the heavyweight division would only have like about 7 fighters in it. If you just think about it, I'm being really serious about that. Think about it. If Wilder was the type of person that always placed like on Tyson Fury for their first fight, for some reason he actually placed his 2 punches because he had to wait for them all fight when he knocked out Fury. Um, but Fury, you got to give shout out to Fury though for getting knocked out, and the fight should have been over with, and him getting up. That's crazy. But that shows that he is damaged too though. But yeah, if this thing about Wilder would have put like all those guys he fought, like if he like set like all those fighters was if he set them up properly. Ortiz he set up kind of nice, but he was actually kind of losing in that fight, and he was kind of shook and drowsy. But Ortiz got tired out. Brazil was a nice setup shot. It was nasty as I don't know what. Brazil was being lazy, but that was it. If Wilder hit all these fighters with those kind of knockouts, um, we wouldn't have no heavyweight fighters if he would have put them out like that. Because if you think about it, a lot of them did come back and fight a little bit, but if he would have put them completely to sleep like that, they would never came back. They would have came back one fight and you would have seen that. Oh no, you're still hurt from that Wilder fight. Yep, yep. He said the first bones too connect. Okay, when you're born. Okay, when you're bone in the forehead, so it's the strongest point of the head. Yeah, yeah, that's where they connect. Yeah, right there. You get a lot of connections. You got little ones up in here that they kind of fuse, and then you end up with I don't even know, man. I don't know how many in the cranial bones because I know you have more of them when you're little. But once you get this plate here, Once that brain gets developed and stuff, you get this one here, and once they fuse, that you have some of them that actually fuse where you can't really see the lines. And this, yeah, this is like, this is a solid. This cap is more solid than some of the other pieces. And you're right. So this one, yeah, this one, and even fighters they know that don't hit this fool in his forehead, because you gonna crack your damn hand. Don't hit nobody in the forehead. Even, I'm talking about even you street fighting. Don't hit nobody in the forehead. You gonna crack it. But I was trying to explain to you a technique. The technique is to bend the head. That's the technique. You keep the chin tucked anyway, but then you want to deflect that punch. You want that punch to bounce up off. You want that punch to come up. But there's a friend of mine. There used to be a trainer, and when he boxed, like when he boxed in the amateurs, and what he showed me, because when I sparred with his ass, he was showing me. He said, yeah. He said, I like when somebody go for my forehead. When they aim for my forehead, he said, I just dip my forehead down. He said, crack their wrist. I'm like, damn. And that's the first time I learned that. That's the first time I learned about and that's what the dipping of the head does. The dipping of the head is what what messes your hand up. And so people like Tank Davis, it hit hard. Sometimes he'll hit you in the forehead sometimes. When he shouldn't. He should be practicing that uppercut. Try to get that jaw and try to get the body to stop. See, that's why you end up with that hurt hand. I'm telling you, that's the reason. You're not going to hurt your hand. The punches that really hurt your hand is improper hooks and hitting somebody in the forehead. Like your regular punches that you hitting somebody, you're not going to hurt your hand hitting somebody with regular punches. It's just that dramatized hook. And see, a lot of fighters, what they're doing, and they're not being taught, when they throw the hook, they're leaving it like this. It doesn't start from here. It's supposed to start from here. See? It's supposed to start like that. It's supposed to turn over. Okay, y'all hold on just 1 second. Let me see this thing. Yeah, yeah. Hello.
Hello, this is.
Yep, that was the store calling. So they got my device fixed now. So I can go do that. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Smuck, you said, yeah, true. He could kill somebody. I agree. Yeah. See, that's what. See, the thing is, we get so caught up in who won a fight and all that. We're not looking. So sometimes, Bruce, we don't even look at the whole dynamic of what's going on with boxing a lot of times, because we get too caught up in our fighters, our favorite fighters, and oh, we like this style, we like that. But we got to look at. I mean, Wilder. You got to appreciate Wilder. And if it wasn't for Wilder's, if it wasn't for him being wild, we wouldn't have some of the fights that we got. We wouldn't have some of these fights. If Wilder had just like, if Wilder was like a setup artist, if he was more like a Tank Davis, if he was like a setup artist, like just set you up and knew he set you up and didn't get so Wilder, I'm not saying Wilder couldn't set you up, but Wilder usually didn't set you up. Wilder would only set you up if it's a desperate situation, like, oh shit, I'm losing, then he'll set you up. But Wilder was always like just trying to hit you, just trying to land that right hand. But if Wilder was like a setup type of fighter, like set traps and set you up and then just really just blast, knock your skeleton out of your body, I mean, we would not have fighters. We wouldn't have heavyweight fighters. I'm telling you, that's just for me. I'm just saying we would not have the fighters that we had because Wilder just knocked your damn skeleton out of your body. It's like we just not would not have these fighters. We would not have the fights. We just would not. It's like bam, he just knocked his ass out of his skeleton. Why can you imagine if somebody did get hit that hard to where they knocked your skeleton out of your body? Bruce said 48 years ago today, we had some famous elevator fight. George Foreman and Ron Loud, yeah, fighting on the elevator. That was crazy. And you know what? And the thing about it is, I mentioned that fight, and I mentioned the Ron Loud versus Schaefer's fight. Ron Loud versus, go back and watch Ron Loud and Schaefer's fight. You gonna be like, God dang, these dudes. I don't know if I have the clip here or not, but those dudes was, I mean, they was mauling, brawling, man. Like, God dang. Even then, like George Foreman hit so hard, but those guys were so tough back then. He more or less ended a lot of careers, but we still got to see those guys because those guys was just so tough. We still got to see those guys fight. Like Frazier, we still got to see him fight. Norton, we still got to see him fight. Who else did he just damage? Some of them we didn't get to see no more. Some of the fighters that George Foreman fought, we didn't get to see anymore. The main ones we got to see was Foreman, not Foreman, but Frazier, Norton, Schaefer's. He didn't fight Schaefer's, he fought Lyles, but Lyles, even though Lyles wasn't really that good, because even Jerry Corey beat them. Yeah, we didn't get to see George Foreman versus Jerry Corey. Yeah. But they had to take a lot of punishment back then. But those guys was tough, man, because they all used to take punishment. Shit, every last one of them could punish you if they had to. If they want, Ali could punish you. A lot of people thought Ali didn't hit that hard. Ali could hit hard if he wanted. That wasn't his style. He changed his style after, I forgot what he said. It was something that he witnessed in boxing, and that changed his style, where he said he never wanted to whoop up on a man like that no more. Yeah. It was something that he seen, something traumatized him in boxing, and not trauma to that type of point, but something bothered him to the point where he said he didn't want to whoop a man like that no more. Like just beat a man mercilessly. Yes, yeah, some guys it was. But George Foreman, when he first got it, he just didn't care. George Foreman just looked at you like, what you doing in the ring with me? That's the kind of stare down he would have. Go back and look at some of his stare downs. He would look at you like, why are you in the ring with me? I'm gonna kill you right now. That's how he would look at you. Like, I don't care nothing about what you do. I'll hit you in your back. I hit you in the back of your head, your kidneys, ribs. I don't care. I'm gonna uppercut you. I'm gonna try to knock you out the ring. But yeah, they said he wasn't even the hardest hitter. All the fighters explained the Schaefer's. A lot of people talk about Deontay Wilder's power and Mike Tyson's power, but Schaefer's probably hit harder than both of them. I'm just saying. Yep. Smuck, you said, y'all. He said y'all didn't know that Webb is a scientific. Hey, that's my whole thing. Smuck you. I do the boxing thing, but Bruce will tell you. But that's what I usually do, though. I do talk about the science and the, the science of boxing. You like the how generating punches. I never hit myself, but I was told that I hit pretty hard and I kicked pretty hard. So I think I know a little bit. I don't know shit, but I know a little bit. So I am more scientific than, I like that aspect of it more than, that's why these things resonate in my mind and I start bringing them up again. I'm like, you know what? I mean, we can complain about some of the fights with Wilder and we can say that Wilder don't fight like that, but Wilder saved heavyweight boxing by not being a pinpoint accurate fighter. Shit. If he was pinpoint accurate like a Holmes or somebody, man, we wouldn't have no heavyweights. And plus, they would be scared to freaking death. Wilder with his power needs to be a Wilder the way that he is. Because if we had a Wilder that was if we had a Wilder that was just had excellent boxing skills, we couldn't talk about nobody else but Wilder. And nobody would want to fight him. AJ would definitely, if Wilder was pinpoint accurate, AJ would definitely not have fought him. Fury wouldn't have fought him. If they knew he had that, like if he had that movement and like had like the good jab, like get off me, like had that good slap down, parry and shit, like going underneath shit, twisting, jumping in and out, and ha ha ha. If Wilder had that kind of skill, that's all we could talk about was Wilder. I'd be glad. We'd be happy. I'd be glad when Wilder retired, sitting there 45, 50 and old, then put everybody completely out. I don't talk about that, Smuck you. I try to stay a little bit private on certain subjects. If I mention my father, I'll just say my father. That's all I'll say. I don't say more than that. The reason I mention him because he's family. Of course, your family always gonna be your favorite. He said, "Love getting all this." Yeah. He says, "Snuck is back." He said, "Snuck is back." Laughing out loud. I agree. It would be scary if Wilder actually had like skill. Yeah, yep. Lyles went from Ali to Shavers to Foreman. Yeah, they all was fighting each other. What about Shavers, Holmes? Holmes got it. Yeah, Shavers and Holmes will tell you even to this day. Holmes would tell you that Shavers is the hardest hitter. He'll say that Shavers hit hard. But one thing about Holmes, I don't know why Holmes went down as much as Holmes went down. Which wasn't a lie, but I don't know why he went down as much as he did. But then again, Shavers hit you, you're going to go down. I think Holmes a lot of times would just get too comfortable and you catch him and he go down. But Holmes always came back. The only fighter he didn't come back against from getting knocked down was Mike Tyson, but he was already way past his prime and stuff like that. But Holmes was always, one thing about Holmes, if he went down, he's popping right back up. And probably was going to whoop your ass when he got up like, oh, you done knocked me down. He'd get embarrassed and get right back up. Yeah, Foreman admitted that he ducked Jerry Corey. Yeah. The thing about Jerry Corey that made him dangerous is that, I mean, a lot of people would think he was garbage or he wasn't that good. But the thing I like about Jerry Corey is that he was sound. He was a basically sound fighter. So he could beat fighters like, he could beat like the Ron Lyles and the Shavers and stuff like that. He could beat those kind of fighters because they wasn't as stable as he was. If they had a better repertoire and stuff, of course they could beat him easy. He couldn't deal with people like Frazier because Frazier had more than just basic skills, and plus Frazier had that left hook, and would just stay in there with Corey like I don't care, because I got that clip. I used to have that clip. Do we still have it? I got that clip. Remember, I used to have that clip up all the time, Bruce. I'm trying to. It was the Frazier because I did a little special thing. I was talking about Frazier one time, and yeah, so Frazier, it was he knocked Corey out standing up. That's how tough these guys was. He took a standing knockout. That used to be one of my things I used to keep up here all the time. So Corey took a standing knockout and started throwing punches again. Frazier knocked him out and then looked at him like, you're out. And then once he woke up, they just went back to fighting. That shit is crazy. I'll find it, man. I'll find it. I used to keep it up all the time. But I just don't see it. I got a whole list of stuff that I can put up here, but I don't see it. But I'll put it up again, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. He was actually standing up, knocked out. He was standing up, knocked out like this, leaning. And that's why they say you always train your legs, because your legs don't get knocked out. The only thing your legs do is lock up. So if they're strong and they lock up while you're standing up, you'll still stay there. You'll look like you're good. You might be out and your hands are still up because everything draws in when you're out. You're more or less asleep. And everything stays, when you're asleep, everything stays in the same position. Like if you're asleep and somebody raises your arm will stay just like that. Just the way that they raise it. Yep. Is Larry Wilder the perfect fighter? Yeah. That's a good observation, Snucky. I'm glad you said that because I had mentioned that so many times in this chat. I had mentioned that, and I'm glad you see that. That would see, but that would be too devastating. If you had a Larry Wilder, oh my goodness, we couldn't even talk about no other fighter. He'd be pound for pound and everything. We couldn't even talk about no other fighter if we had a Larry Wilder. Because the way he would be setting them up with the jab and then putting them to sleep, that's all we could talk about. Yeah, but Larry came back after Tyson and fought everyone, Holyfield, Mercer, etc. Yeah, because Larry Holmes he wasn't wrapped tight. You know, he had a little bit of something wrong, something was wrong with him. He just wanted to come back to prove that I can still fight these guys. You guys ain't all that. But all the fighters have came back. Frazier came back and fought years after he was way past his prime and retired. He came back and got a draw his last fight. You know, most of the fighters they end up coming back. But that observation of Larry Wilder, oh my goodness, that would just, oh, are you kidding me? Somebody should do an AI of that or something like that. When you can blend in two fighters together, like you blend together a Foreman Ali, a Holmes Wilder, who else? Who else did we put together? Oh yeah, okay, here we go. And I'm gonna tell you some of these fighters that wouldn't be as good without their alter ego. I would even say something like, you might not remember, like a Biggs, Tyrell Biggs. I would put Tyrell Biggs, Schaefer's. Big Schaefer's. So I want to mix them up. I want to try to put boxers with like punchers. You know? Damn, that would be. Here's another one. A Walcott Liston. Oh, God. Woo. A Walcott Liston. God dang. A Walcott Liston. A Walcott Liston. I don't know. A Walcott Liston might take everybody. Because you got the arms and you got Walcott. You got that footwork. You got that footwork and then you got that. Oh man, that would just be excellent if we could merge those fighters together like that. God dang. Yep. Told you I'm a boxing historian. Look at that. Oh, you. Okay, Snuck. You snuck your ass up in here to tell me that you're a boxing historian. I got you, brother. I trust you, man. Believe me. I got you. I trust you, man. I'm just happy that you and Bruce came through today. You know, because I had to come in late, so yeah. I'm gonna start my food off and go pick up my phone before I end up forgetting that. Yeah, but because I start talking with you guys, I start having fun up in here. Because you guys start bringing up stuff, which is, you know, there's things that that's what boxing chat ought to be about. See, I never make this whole chat, even with me. It's always about you guys. You know what I mean? And if somebody comes in with some bullshit, then it's about me because I'm gonna put hands on them. But yeah, so it's always I like to get people's input, and when I see people that actually think like me, sometimes like they'll have like, so nobody's ever said that thing. I've said that in here before. I said if Wilder had like the Larry Holmes type of jab, I said, man, couldn't nobody mess with him at all. They could not touch him at all. No matter what your height is, you couldn't touch him. Because eventually you're gonna eat that right hand. Yep. He said this what I do. Okay, Snuck, I got you, brother. Hey, come see us again though, man. You start showing up a little bit more, man, and you don't worry about it. We're gonna get you modded up. We'll get you modded up like everybody else. You be in blue like everybody else. Most of the people that come in here, you'll see blue when they come in here. Everybody modded up. You're a good enough person. I can blue you up next time I get a chance. You know what I mean? But I want to make sure that you're coming in too, though. Yeah, I want to make sure you coming in. We'll talk some more about that subject though when Derek and the rest of the guys get in. We'll talk some more about it. because this whole thing, what I just brought up about the heavyweights, it exists with most of the weight classes. It does exist, like anywhere from 140. I would say from 140 on up, maybe even 135 on up. So we just don't have, even though, yeah, Larry got defense too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I like my listing combination too. I like that listing combination. That listing, Walcott listing. Oh my goodness. Just got to look at those two together, yeah, and it's like, whew, whew. Uh, the Ali Foreman would be completely unfair, though. The Ali Foreman, that would be completely like that would be like so unfair. It wouldn't even make sense. It wouldn't make sense to have the Ali Foreman. That just that's overkill. Matter of fact, I gotta take that one back. You can't even have that kind of a combination. The Ali Foreman, you can't even have. That's too much. You can't have Ali with like with people that's that. You can have maybe Ali. We had to put him with somebody else. Even Ali Tyson, that's too much. Ali Lau, anybody you put with Ali, it's crazy. Because any heavy puncher that you put with Ali is just overkill. That's just like way too much. Yeah. So why 7 pounds mean so much? He said snuck you 140, 147. It's not because of the weight class it is right now. Because none of these classes are walk around. Remember we talked about that? Is none of these classes are walk around weights anymore. They're not walk around weight. That's why the big difference between 147, because somebody would just have enough skeletal structure left at 147 to where they can just make 147. They can never make 140. That's what the big difference is. The big difference is that my skeletal structure can only make 147 at most. I just got too much bulk, I got too much mass, so I just can't make the 140. It should not. For some people, it doesn't. But there's some it does. Like especially if, say, for instance, you're 5'10", 6 to 6'3", that makes a big difference. So I hope that answers your question. Anyway, my shout out to all the real people that I see, and my shout out to all y'all that mess with me. My brother Bruce was in here, and Snuck, you came through. The rest of y'all just got to catch up the commentary or whatever on the replay. But yeah, I was in here, and I just got my message. I got to go pick up my phone, brother. But anyway, y'all know what it is. No matter what time we come in here, man, it's nothing but peace, nothing but blessings, man. Y'all know what it is. Eagles Wear Boxing. I'm going to catch y'all. Yeah, all Marines ain't that tough. I'll just read that before I get out of here. Yes, Snuck, you said I was 170 pounds, 22 years old. I fought a Marine. He was 220. I whooped his tail. Yeah, I prefer fighting bigger people. Well, sometimes it's better to fight. Well, street fighting, I'd rather fight somebody big, I think. I don't want to fight no little guys, no street fight. Little guys is tough. I'd rather fight somebody big. I got more of a chance of them going to be tired than me. I'll get them. See, I got a strategy for the big guys. I'll make them tired. Little guys, they might not get tired. I'm like, oh shit, he got me puffing and puffing. That's prison fighting there. You get somebody huffing and puffing, and then that's when you huff and puff and you take them out. All right, y'all. No, I see what you wrote down there. No, not me against Davis. He got too much stamina, man. I had to catch his little ass somehow.